Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and I'm playing in one of my favorite vehicles in the game. This is the Tier 7 American light tank, the M41 Walker Bulldog. I haven't done a video on this channel, on this vehicle, in over a year. That's far too long. I have to admit, I played this tank a hell of a lot. I got my third gun mark. I nearly said barrel again. People have been complaining about the idea of the tank having 3 different barrels. That would be OP, right? When I got my third gun mark on this tank, I kind of just stopped playing it, really. I didn't really care about it so much, and I took it out for a couple of spins in the last week, and boy did the games go well, and I wonder why I haven't been playing it. It's just such an absolute little terror on the battlefield. It's so fast with a 72km/h top speed limit, which allows it to get into position faster than other light tanks such as this Leopard. Make use of bushes. We are playing on Prokhorovka, and we're in a fairly nice matchup here with only Tier 8 tanks on the enemy team. And that's about as good as it gets for Tier 7 light tanks as they get matched up like Tier 8 medium tanks, because light tanks are just so darn powerful. So back to the Walker Bulldog. I've been picking it up again, and I'm definitely going to keep going in it because it's just fast, it's furious, it's an absolute little terror. I love the autoloader on this tank. I'm using a 76mm autoloader. And you see me waiting here. I'm not firing. Why? Because I don't want to give up my position. But now that the Walker Bulldog is dead, I'm feeling very confident that although the view range on the enemy team is poor. And so that means that now I can just unleash, hopefully, hell on these Tier 8 heavy tanks from a good distance. I'm 530 meters away from them. And that means that the 175mm of penetration on my gun will probably start to dip as we reach those 500-meter range targets. And so 175mm of penetration is pretty okay against the side of a T-32 hull, but against the side of an IS-3, not too likely to be going through there reliably. So if you're wondering, how was this Walker Bulldog firing so fast? Because it's got an absolutely ridiculous 76mm autoloader on this tank. It isn't the most accurate. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's 0.38 accuracy. So at these kind of ranges, yeah, you're kind of a little lucky if you hit the weak points of the IS-3. And the weak point of the IS-3 here is below the spaced armor, just on the top part of the hull. And obviously still hitting the hull armor basically between the tracks. Anything apart from that and the IS-3 is going to be able to absorb most of your damage. And when you've got 175mm of penetration that you do in this tank, the IS-3, you know, with those voids on the side of the vehicle, are going to be able to take it more often than not. So, this is a very important thing to highlight in this replay. Going into the bush that you saw me in up here is a very good starting location. However, later on it becomes redundant. And right now what we're doing is we've moved into this bush, now that we know that it's safe where no one's spotted along here. Also having removed 2 of the light tanks on the enemy team, 2 of the better players on the enemy team. Now we can advance to this bush. Now this bush puts us closer to those heavy tanks over there, and I don't want to fire at them because I'm 370 meters away from them. And it's quite likely, if the T-32 has got a very good crew, or if he's using coated optics on that tank, if I fire that I might get spotted. But from here we are just getting this Tiger II absolutely annihilated at the back of the map. I just want him to die because then I don't have to worry about his vision. And that's what you've got to be constantly thinking about in your light tanks. We're getting these Tier 8 heavies here just absolutely annihilated. Our artillery are doing some good work. And now this is a very important mechanic. If you guys don't know this, listen carefully. If you pull back behind a bush, you can shoot through the bush without being spotted. Well, you significantly lower your chance of being spotted. You can shoot at opponents that are pretty darn close to you, up to probably a couple of 100 meters, and as long as the bush is not transparent, then that means that they're not going to be able to see through. We set that Indian Panzer, or the Indian Panzer, on fire there. Hopefully he continued to burn. So what you see me do is I go forwards into the bush, and when the bush becomes transparent in your sniper mode, then that means that you can see through it and you'll be extending your full view range through the bush. And then when you want to fire, you pull back behind it for roughly, I think, about 10 meters or so. And then the bush becomes opaque, and then you can shoot through it for free without the threat of being spotted. Wow, it looks like we actually did manage to get that Indian Panzer burnt. He's down to 46% of his hit points. and it looks like the Borsig on my team finishes him off. There's a GW Tiger Pig on the enemy team, though. I stopped because I just finished reloading, but my team are doing the hard work for me. Well, I would actually consider that the spotter is probably doing the hard work for the other people who get to just casually sit at the back and snipe. There's a T-34-100, that Tier 7 Czechoslovakian medium tank on the enemy team up on the hill. And we don't quite manage to finish him off with our blind shot, but our artillery takes him down. So no kills so far, and I'm wondering where the hell is that FV304? I get spotted. I'm sure that there's an FV304 in here somewhere, and there isn't. And I was completely confused at the time. I was like, where the hell is that FV304? And can you believe it? He was there. Absolutely outrageous. Nevertheless, we've still got 5 rounds left of our 10-round magazine, and we're going to go to town on this T-44 at the end of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at me, I can count. I'm so good. Not quite managing to put the 5th in, but that is the end of the round. 6 minutes in an absolute whitewash of the enemy team. And it's not like the teams were that unbalanced, to be honest. This was a 56%er. It could have been a lot more even than this. And they had some decent players in their top-tier tanks. But when you've got your ultra-fast, sneaky light tanks on a map such as Prokhorovka, it's really up to you to be able to lead your team to victory. So we've seen the amazing scouting capabilities of the M41 Walker Bulldog. How about we check out some more gameplay where this time we might pick up a few kills? Let's get this show on the road. So now we're going to be assaulting on Erlenberg, and there are 2 positions that I like to use when I'm assaulting on Erlenberg. The first position will be over here. I feel like this bush is very, very, very competitive. Will allow you to get vision down all the way along this flank, and if your enemies are very aggressive and try and push their way through here, you can harass them very, very, very well indeed. Oh gosh, a 59-16 on my team just managed to drown himself. Derpenberg takes another victim. This position is lovely, but sometimes, especially in your light tanks, when you've got the mobility to be able to withdraw from a situation that you get yourself into, it's quite nice to go down the east. This ridgeline up here is beautiful for tanks with gun depression, and when the M41 Walker Bulldog uses the autoloader, it gets 8 degrees of gun depression. If you use the single shotgun, you get 10. And we have managed to get ourselves into position, and this VK2801 is not very well. The AMX CDC on the enemy team, however, puts a shot into us, and he damages both of our tracks, but doesn't manage to damage our tank. The second shot, however, does take our left track off and also damage us as well. But we managed to put a couple back into him. Luckily, he rolled very low there. He rolled for 195 out of 240, so I feel very fortunate about that. But we rolled low against him as well, 133 and 122 out of 150. Looks like we're just like, we're having a tickle fight, right? We don't actually really want to kill each other. We're just going like, ah, ha, ha, yeah. Or maybe not quite yet. We'll see later on whether I manage to take down that CDC or not. So, the reload on this 76mm 10-round magazine is very long. It's pretty much 30 seconds of full reloading, even when you've got a skilled crew and you're using consumables. Brothers in arms, probably vents like I'm using on this tank. Actually, I'm probably not using vents on this tank. Oh no, I am, because the autoloader means I don't think it can use a gun rammer. Anyway, we put a little shot into the back of the KV-3 there. Hopefully we put another one in. Ah, no, it hits the house. One thing that I should correct is that I think during my commentary on the Prokhorovka map, I said that this tank had 0.38 accuracy. That is only true for the single shotgun. With the autoloader, your accuracy goes down by 0.02. So this tank actually has 0.4 accuracy when you're using the autoloader. So that means that it's not the best sniper, and you're really just hoping that your shots are going to go in at long range. And with 2 seconds delay on the gun and 2.1 seconds aim time, sometimes you can't even get the full magazine out very quickly at all, while maintaining full accuracy. And talking about getting the magazine out, it's going to take you 18 seconds from your first shot of continuous fire to be able to put out the full magazine in this tank. Now, I'm not firing at the CDC or the ONI there because I want to not reveal my position. I knew that the CDC would spot me if I fired again, so I decided to wait for the KV-3 instead. But one shot, I'm not sure if that quite went into the IS or not. I know that my second one does. Third one goes into the back of the tank but does manage to penetrate him. And I think that the ONI is spotting me. A bit of tunnel vision there. And I didn't realize that that sneaky AMX CDC is gunning for me again. Look at him. He really wants to kill me. I think he actually missed. He missed the Centurion turret and the Cromwell hull and puts one into me. But luckily, we fire a couple on the move back into him, and we've done 540. Make that 686. Make that 840 damage into the CDC. It's very nice to be shooting with autoloaders at tanks that have pretty much no armor. Nevertheless, that guy has put me down to 209 hit points. I'm not very happy about the 3 shots that I've received from that gentleman. But I think we've given us as good as we've got. But then again, I would never really want to sacrifice 3/4 of my health to do pretty much maybe 2/3 of damage to a tier 8 medium on the enemy team. That isn't how you carry in your light tanks. In your light tanks to carry, you need to be doing like 2,000, 3,000 damage. And then you start to, well, then you'll start to see massive gains in your win ratio. But of course, it's not just down to the amount of damage you do, it's also important amount of spotting that we did. You see how much of an impact we had in the game in Prokhorovka previously? I think we only lost 1 tank on our entire team because of the spotting they were able to do. Oh, that is some juicy side armor there. Absolutely beautiful, ripping apart that only 627 damage done to him. And now we've got a few more rounds left for the LTTB. Talk about armor on the front of that tier 7 Soviet light tank. Hard to believe, hey? Some real good frontal armor on that LTTB with nice angling. Ricochets 2 of our shells. Not many light tanks in the game that you'd expect to bounce off when you've got 175mm of penetration, like this 76mm main armament does have. So this game is looking a bit bleak. We're down by 5 tanks. Our assault is not going well on Erlenberg. But I'm still on this flank with the Centurion 1, who is on half health. Hopefully we can shut down that CDC. How much health is he on? 5 hit points? Gosh, only need to just lightly graze him to be able to take that vehicle down. Can we get our revenge? Yes! Beautiful. We had the last word in that engagement. Now we put one into the top of the LTTB turret. We're not sure where he's quite going. Try to put one in. Oh, just grazes his turret. Damn. Now we put one into the IS as well. Put more into the IS. Finish him off. Picking up our 4th kill of the game. Can we hit this LTTB? It's such a valuable shot right now. Missed the first. Oh, beautiful shot. Hit the second. And we start a full reload on our magazine. 5 kills. 2,778 damage done in the 6 minutes that we've been playing in this game. But it's not enough. We've still got to take out 5 tanks. Me and the Centurion 1. Let's see if we're going to go all the way in this assault. Remember, the pressure is on us. This is Erlenberg Assault. And that means that unless we kill all of the enemy tanks or we take the enemy base in the next 3 minutes and 30 seconds, we will lose. It's not enough to wait for them to come to us. We need to be the aggressors. So I decide to make my way into this northeast corner and to use some bushes to start to harass this M46 Ripper pattern. He spots me, however, but that doesn't matter. We finish him off. Now we see a Nashorn. We miss one, hit the second. Fantastic. 2 quick kills on valuable targets there. Now it's a 2 versus 3 situation, and I'm communicating my reload to the Centurion by using my F8 key. I've had to kick so much ass in this game. It is very unusual for the M41 Walker Bulldog to have picked up 7 kills and get 3,000, nearly 3,300 damage done, that I'm now resorting to the heat rounds in this tank. They're not even that much better. They've got 210mm of penetration. The reason why I keep 20 heat rounds in this tank is because otherwise you find it very hard to be able to take out vehicles such as a mouse. You can't really even pen a mouse reliably with 175mm of penetration unless you get some very awkward angles on his tank. Ah, that Leopard makes himself known. I've still got to be very afraid of this Leopard. Most Leopards use those kind of annoying autoloader guns that fire very rapidly, a bit like on the Lux, that could easily take away my remaining hit points. And now I'm split. I don't know who I want to shoot, but I decide that I want to take out this Leopard. We've now got 2 minutes, nearly less than 2 minutes left on this game. We've got to finish it off. That Leopard indeed is using that Lux gun, and he manages to put 3 rounds into us to be exact, reducing our hit points to 128. But I decide that this Centurion is putting the pressure on the tier 8 tanks and I want to assist him. Perhaps we can finish off this T-34 and the T-28 quickly and then be able to cap. But I tell you what, wasting about 5 seconds there by crashing into that tank like a donkey isn't going to help me. You know what? Crashing into rocks and dead tanks is something I do very badly, but I'm focusing on these vehicles. I'm looking for when the T-28 appears. I'm looking for if I can get shots into the T-34. Looks like my camo rating is going to hold up. We managed to get ourselves into position where we can hide behind some bushes and still hopefully rip apart this T-20. I'm thinking, shall I shoot the T-34 or the T-28? Okay, it's the T-28. There's one, two. He probably doesn't know where we're hitting him from. There's a third, the fourth. Put the fifth into him, and now I change my attention to the T-34, hoping that I can get shots off. Oh no, it's not going through the turret. Oh, I missed the turret. Disaster. Oh, a bounce off the turret. Oh, this is going all wrong. And do you know what? I think I've made a terrible mistake in hindsight here. I should have just finished off that T-28. I had shots into the side of him, and then the T-28 goes back up the slope and kills my Centurion friend, meaning I'm in a 1 versus 3 situation with 40 seconds left on the game. That was a bad decision by me. I shouldn't have tried to put the shots into the T-34, even the 210 millimeters of heat penetration, not nearly enough to try and deal with that tank. You see me go forwards into the bush to get him spotted, pull back behind the bush, shoot through the bush. We don't get spotted for that assassination. 20 seconds left. Can we find the T-34's turret? The T-34 isn't being stupid. He pulls back down. He's going hull down. He's not trying to chase me. He's making no mistakes right now. I've got very few seconds left. Hope that the Leopard decides to try and rush me and maybe I can shoot him and then get lucky and take out the T-34, but it's not to be. The game ends, time has run out, and the defenders win, and it's not a draw, we lose. What a tense end to this round of World of Tanks. We did a lot of good things this game, but towards the end I feel like I made a couple of wrong decisions that might have cost us the round. Number one, I let that Leopard escape. We were running out of time. It was very unlikely that we were ever going to be able to dig that T-34 out in cap. I needed to go and secure the kill on the Leopard, which would then mean that if we killed the T-28 prototype and the T-34, that we would win. Even if I managed to kill this T-34 at the end of the game, the Leopard could have just been hiding in the corner of the map, which would have been completely the right thing to do to secure the game for his team. And also, when I was in position and trying to get shots into the side of the T-34, I was trying to prevent him from getting to the Centurion to kill the Centurion. I was thinking that I could take the pressure off him, be able to shut down the T-34. In retrospect, I should have probably just shot the T-28 that was completely in the open, finished him off, and then taken the pressure off the Centurion, who could have then maybe allowed me to fully reload, and then we could have assaulted the T-34 at the end together and just prayed that the Leopard made a mistake. Nevertheless, getting over 4,000 damage and killing half of the enemy team is not something that Tier 7 light tanks are really intended to do. Let's just take a very quick look at the post-game stats to see our result in both of these rounds. So apologies for the small screens, but my internet connection isn't working, which is a bit weird. So in the first game on Prokhorovka, we managed to get a patrol duty medal and a Confederate. We truly were the support tank for our team here, and we also made 60,000 credits profit. We did 2,800 damage and got nearly 1,700 base experience points, firing 29 and hitting 25 of those, and 16 penetrated. The spotting damage that we did this game was 4,886, which is why we got such a huge amount of experience points. Remember that you're getting just as much as the person who's doing the damage if you're spotting for them. And it's always nice to get over 5,000 experience for your double. In the next game, we actually lost credits because of all those heat rounds we had to fire at the end. We lost over 21,500 credits, but I guess that's balanced out by the previous round. This time, we weren't the support, we were the damage dealer. We got a high caliber Radley Walters medal for the 8 kills we picked up, picking up 4,352 damage and 1,647 base experience points. We fired 57 this game, hit 45 of those, and 34 of those penetrated. And a big shout out to a nub on my team who also had a great round here in his Centurion Mark I. Sorry I couldn't quite work together well enough with you at the end, buddy, to take this one down. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this double dose of M41 Walker Bulldog gameplay. If you did, please consider giving it a like down below. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to see why the Walker Bulldog is all bite and no bark, then simply click through up here or use that more info icon in the top right hand corner of your screen to see a plethora of M41 Walker Bulldog replays. And let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about light tank matchmaking. Do you feel that they're competitive the way that they are? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.